warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Veronika Sintabela, 251804G. Today, I want to explain about literary defense or language defense. Linguistic defense are also known as language defense, linguistic technique, or figurative defense. A literary defense is essentially a technique used by writers which adds substance or an effect to the text or writing. It is used to help the readers create a more detailed image of what is happening with the writing, and is employed often various types of the written text. They can include words of fiction, poetry, song, and non-fiction pieces among others. So, literary defense are told that writing used to improve their writing and make interesting imaginary and sound difference. There are many different types of literary defense. Some are used more often than others, but each one has its own effect on the writing and used in specific way. Literary techniques are specific, deliberate construction of language which an author uses to convey meaning. An author use of literary technique usually occurs with a single word or phrase, or a particular word of group or phrase, and one single point in the text. Unlike literary elements, literary techniques are not necessarily present in every text. In one, alliteration. Alliteration describes a series of words in a quick selection that all start with the same letter or sound. In length, a phrasing can lead to prose and poetry words. And if you have any doubt about the impact of alliteration, consider the following uncomfortable titles: Love, Word, Loss, Sense and Sensibility, and Haunting of Hill House. For example, Peter picking a pot of pickled peppers. And 2. Anthropomorphism. To anthropomorphize is to apply humans trait or quality to a non-human thing such as subject, animal, or the writers. But unlike personification, in which that is used wrong through figurative description, anthropomorphism is literary. A sun with a smile in face, for example, talking dog in a cartoon. Example: in Disney Beauty and the Beast, Mr. Pot in a teapot, cookware in the lake, and a laundry and countries are all household objects that are behave like humans, which of course they are when they run under a spell. Dramatic irony. Dramatic irony is when the reader knows more about the situation going that at least one of characters involved. This creates a difference between the way the audience and characters face unfolding events. For instance, if we know what the character is having in fears, when the characters speak to their response, we will pick up what the least and double meaning of their work. Well, in the first many take them of the face value. Example, in the Titanic, the audience know from the beginning of the movie where the boat will stand. This creates very humor when characters remain on the passivity of the ship. exposition. Exposition is when the narrative provides background information in order to help the reader understand what's going on. When used in conjunction with description and dialogue, this literary defense provides a richer understanding of the characters, setting, and events. Be carefully. Talk too much exposition will quickly become boring, thus undercutting the emotional impact of your work. Example: the Douglas had everything they want, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear here was that somebody was discussing it. Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, J.K. Rowling. And figurative language. Any used language where the intended meaning differs from the actual literal meaning of the word themselves. There are many techniques which can currently be called figurative learning, including metaphor, smile, hyperbole, personification, onomatopoeia, verbal irony, and oxymoron. Relay, figurative of speech. The point makes intensive use of linguistic figurative language, presenting the speaker feeling as color, sound, and flowers. Hyperbole. Hyperbole is extending stance that implies the significance of the stage actually meaning. When a friend says, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in a million years," this is hyperbole. And another example, at the time Bogota was a remote recuperation city when art insomnia's reign had been feeling since the beginning of the 16th century. Living Tale to Tell by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And the next, metaphor. A metaphor comprises two similar things by saying that one of them is the other's, as you might expect when it comes to literary defense. If one is one having hater and if one standard metaphor, thus do the thing a writer can always try in extended metaphor, a metaphor that explains on intended comparison to more elaboration parallels. For example, metaphor are literary brains, and a butter metaphor interested. Good luck finding a novel that is free of them. There's one from Franz Hardy's A Face Like Grace. I wish more dumb he took his charms. They do us no good, just stick into our skin and hurt us. And the next, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Mostly, one onomatopoeia is like difficult to pronounce words. Research to words that sound like the thing that they are referring to. Well, no instance of onomatopoeia include with, pass, snap, grunts, or etc. Example: the excellent children's who click, clock, mow, cow, that tiba. Farmer born has a problem. His cow like to tiba. All day long he hear click, clock, mow, click, clock, mow, clickily, clock, mow. And next, oxymoron. An oxymoron comes from to encryptic story word that describe one thing. Well, juxtaposition contracts two story elements. Only parents are about the actually what you are using. For example, a parting is used with Coro in Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare's Find 100 more examples or any moron. Personification. Personification is human try to describe non-human things. Again, will the affirmations and anthropomorphism actually appraise their trait to non-human things? Personification means the behavior of the thing does not actually change. It's person-harm in figurative language only. Example, just before it was dark, as they passed and great island of Charsago wind, that he found an friends in the Black Sea and want to and talk to ocean were making love with something under yellow blanket. His small land was taken by a dolphin. The Old Man and Sea by Ernest Hemingway. And last, smell. A smell draw December be between two things by saying thing alike a thing alike B, or thing A is I is as adjective as thing B. Unlike a metaphor, a similar does not posit the things are the same. Only take the are unlike. As a result, it is possibly the most common literary defense in writing. You can almost avoid crowding smell through the use of a like or as. Example, there are two similars in this description from Jigsaw by Madeline Miller. The shapes were golden and high as living step. Their rays surfaced from ivory and horn. They were torn by gleaming dolphin or else crowded by 15 black hair nerests, face, silver, and moonlight. Imaginary open to reader sense to highly different language is crucial for any writing habit, following the route of slow down tell. And strong imaginary provides a picture of the sense and hand. Example, in the hard packs, door of the midway after the grading are out and the people have gone to bed. You will find a variable texture of popcorn, fragments, frozen completing candy apple, by treated children, sugar from the crystal, starfish lemon, popsicle version, ice cream, cornet, and wooden stick of all lollipop. Repetition. Where one dog be wide out, it's turned too much repetition is rarely a good thing. Occasional repetition can be used quickly, effectively, actively to drill home a point or to create a certain atmosphere. For example, horror writers often use the repetition to make the reader feel stripe and strike. Example, in The Skinning, Jack stories people over and over again on his pets. A work and no play makes Jack a jolly boy. In case of fashion repetition, demonstrate the character unraveling mind. Literary element. are aspects of characteristic of a whole text. They are not used per se by author. We deliver what they are from reading the text. Most literary elements can be delivered from any and all texts. For example, every story has a theme, every story has setting, every story has a conflict, every story is written from the particular point of view and liturgy. In order to be this question, literary elements must be specifically identified for the text. The first, allegory. An allegory is one type of narrative that uses character and plot to define abstract ideas and themes. In an allegory story, things represent more than they appearance to the surface. Many children fables, such as the toy tales of the Care, are simple allegories about morality, but allegories can also be very complex and controversial. Example: Animal from by George Orwell. This is a novella in one modern literature space no allegories, a commentary on the event leading up to Stalin's rise and the formation of the Soviet Union. In the heart of the novel represent figures such as Style, Trotsky, and Molotov. And point of view. Point of view is, of course, the model of narrative is story. There are many points of view and authors can choose, and each one will have different impact on the writing expressions. Sample: Second person point of view is uncommon because it directly addresses the reading, not an easy narrative style to pull off. One popular novel managing to employ an over personification successfully bright, like we judges TV and student, you have to think kind of guys who hope the at place it is come to the morning. But here you hear, and you cannot say that the third time is certainly unfamiliar, although the tales are fuzzy. Symbol. Authors turn the time-based symbol to represent abstract, confined, and ideal in the third story. Symbols typically derive from object or non-human. For instance, a dove might represent peach or ribbon might represent it. For example, in the Great Gatsby, Grace used the eyes of Dr. T.G. Actually, a fight of the material a billboard to present good and his judgment of the jazz age. Tone. Tone refers to the overall mood and emotions of your books. It is established from a variation of meaning, including voice characteristics and symbols and themes. Tone sets the feeling you want your reader to take away from the story. For example, no matter how seriously things get in the God plays, there is always a chance for the characteristics to redeem themselves by improving their behavior. The tone remains helpful from the factor of humanity in the face of overwhelmed odds and them. The main idea of message conveyed by speech, a theme is generalized as a complete sentence. An idea explained is a single word or fragmentation present in a motif. For example, a rock theme is that absolute power contract absolute. The idea that human beings are essentially brutal, savage, gradually provide the central themes of the novel. I think this is enough. Leave a comment if you want have anything else. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.